Good day, all, wherever you are viewing from, and welcome back to our outstanding YouTube channel, Everyday People's Voice, a fearless media platform where we hold leadership accountable and we will not trade the right to press freedom and free speech for a piece of cake. We are dedicated to the objective coverage of Nigerian breaking news in politics, current affairs, business news, entertainment, education, crime, health, opinions, and so much more around the world. Our mission is to provide steadfast and quality news reports and also to bring the news directly to you from where and when they happen. Our sources of information are reliable and accurate, with a comprehensive up to date news coverage aggregated from sources all over the world and every corner of the globe. That's why we are the world leading liberal voices for the everyday people in Nigeria. But before I continue, if this is your first time of coming across our news channel, please help us subscribe, like, and share this video. The video you're about to watch is a must watch video. Please watch to the end and leave your comments below the comment section.
You know why they keep talking about this weakness? Because as it seems today, you don't even have a platform
I just
at
giving
which
you.
you're going to run elections.
Don't worry,
If Julius Abure says, I will continue with the Wahala,
don't join them.
he will continue with Wahala, and coalition talks are still going on. That might swing in your favor, that might not swing in your favor. So that's why a lot of people keep saying you're weak. They say, okay, you're so weak that you can't call out some activities of IPOM that is not palatable. But these are the things they say. These are the things they say about you. And that's why they say, can you reach out into the north?
I criticize every single act that is wrong. Whether it's in, go and follow it. Whether it's in the east, west, south.
They say you're not hard enough on IPOP. That's what they say.
I'm hard on everybody. And remember what I said during the campaign until today. Any agitator I will discuss with. There's nothing wrong in agitation. Whether it's Yoruba movement, whether it's Mora movement, any movement, I'll sit down and discuss with. It is important because you dialogue people. Even in my house, people agitate. Why don't you dialogue with them? I have children who say, "Oh, I don't want to do this, daddy." And I say, "Okay, let's give me your time. Let's talk. Why are we fearing talking with people? Let's sit down and talk." And then we have exhausted the reason. And if you don't, and that's it. So it's a question of, like I told you, we've been rascally in our approach. And we thought that bad behavior and rascality makes you powerful. No, it actually kills the system. Good behavior has become weakness. Good character become weakness. Humility has become, everything that is good in Nigeria is considered as wrong. If I go into a place whipping people, shouting and beating people, I'm a strong person.
So the current vice president once said about another candidate was going that, he's too nice, that he's not nice people that are needed in leadership. And that's the same thing a lot of people are also saying.
It's unfortunate.
About you. And I also want to know your take on this state of emergency thing, Governor Fubara, and the fact that a lot of people are saying there's been state capture, democracy is waning, and the likes, and the courts, and other some issues.
Let me tell you, Rufai, as far as I'm concerned, I maintain it. There's no democracy today in Nigeria.
So what are we practicing? So why are you running the 2027 elections if there's no democracy?
We will continue to be agitating for true democracy. Rufai, being an election in Edo, does this show any sign of being a democratic country? Capital, no. Rufai, the coffin was nailed by what happened in Rivers State. You cannot on any circumstances, solve a problem in a democratic setting by going against the rules. You can't even solve any problem by going against the rules. There's a process.
President Zuma went against the rules in River States.
Of course, there's a process of there's a process. You've just what did you do? You actually say it's undemocratic. When you go and bring somebody that is not elected, that didn't follow the process.
But a lot of people too will remind you too, you didn't hold local government election when you were in Anambra State. It's easy to point at Tinubu now, but what about you?
I'm not pointing at them. I'm just telling you, I can tell you, go and check the court process in Anambra State. I was in court for years against conducting an election because people thought if I conduct it, I would do what everybody's doing. So it took me almost 7 years before we could conduct. I governed one of the virtually the most difficult states at the time he had crisis. If there's nothing I did in Anambra State that people are proud of today, I brought stability and order in Anambra State. Before me, nobody who was governor in Anambra State had what you can call a peaceful reign. It was quarrel for 4 years. Ngige was quarrel until he left after 3 years. It was under me that things started change because of the same way I've managed things. Started changing, and started becoming something. I even changed it from being home for all to light of the nation. I started doing things in an organized manner. I was the first person in old and new Anambra State to be governor twice. So I started organizing things properly. So it is easy to sit there and say, oh, he did this. But the reality of it is, Rufai, come, let's visit the state. I live there. That's where I live. And when I'm there, I'm at home. It's the only place I am. There's nobody who will tell you today, this bit of visa house in Abuja, this bit of visa house in Lagos, this bit of visa house. I live in Anambra State. In Lagos, I live in a rented apartment. In Abuja, most times I stay in the hotel. So, but I have a home in Onitsha where I go back and I'm always there. So you can come walk the street, no security, and I invite you.
Okay, Mr. Butabi, one thing is certain, we'll still keep bringing most of these criticisms and asking you questions about the state of the
no, they're going to be, it's going to be happening.
And we'll keep asking you this question. But thank you so much for your time,
thank you,
listening to me.
Thank you but let me assure you, I'm committed to better Nigeria. And I have what it takes. I have the experience of all those who want to be president today. Nobody have my background. I built a business from the scratch. I've operated in the corporate world, and I've been a governor. And in all this, you can go and say, I was a social businessman. I transformed the smallest bank into a 25 billion bank then, and a private bank today. I've been a governor where I told you that the day I left, I was not owing anybody, and I've been the one who saved most money. And in all this, Anambra State has not bought me a bottle of pure water since I left office.
Don't you collect pension from this?
No pension, no gratuity, nothing.
Okay, so you don't collect pension?
I've not been, I said they've not given me bottle of water, pure water, not even real water, pure water, the one that is in sachet. I've not seen one.
But they gave you votes during the elections, a presidential bid.
What there's Anambra government. I did Anambra State. People who voted for me are the people. I said Anambra State government have not bought me a sachet of water So nobody will say, oh, and you can go to Anambra State. If you see any piece of land allocated by the state belonging to P2B, confiscate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.